Yeah, I won't go into the details of sort of the origins of the name, but we were sort of mulling over what our band name should be called. And we wanted something a bit punky, a bit in your
Mm.
face that sort of got people's attention, and came up with something and quite quickly realised we'd never be invited anywhere if we called it that. So kind of it then morphed, evolved into the Dirty Sock Puppets, which I think we're quite happy with.
Get radio breakfast with Rich Smith.
Of course, it is Band Week here at Get Radio, chatting to loads of fantastic bands from across the Oxfordshire area about what they do. And as I say, it's gone from one extreme to another. Because joined on the show by Matt from the brilliantly titled Dirty Sock Puppets. I adore that name. Matt, good morning, mate.
Morning, Rich.
Uh, that,
It's it's an interesting name. It's certainly something which hopefully draws a bit of attention, which is what we wanted.
yeah, absolutely. It really does. Let's start there because we chatted just before we came on air, and I was like, the name is fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm gonna say, kind of tentatively, knowing that it is early morning radio, where did the name come from, Matt?
Well, yeah, I won't go into the details of sort of the origins of the name, but we were sort of mulling over what our band name should be called. And we wanted something a bit punky, a bit in your face that sort of got people's attention, and came up with something and quite quickly realised we'd never be invited anywhere if we called it that. So kind of it then morphed, evolved into the Dirty Sock Puppets, which I think we're quite happy with.
Yeah, I mean, being able to sort of say it on radio and that kind of stuff, that's a good start. And being able
Yeah,
to put it on posters without sort of,
yeah,
people getting
exactly.
offended
And
is
sort of,
it, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. So, tell us a little bit more about the band. You've started off as kind of like a sort of covers, and then kind of moving into doing your own stuff at the moment.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right. So I think we had our first gig probably about a year ago. And it's sort of a, classic four-piece band doing grunge sort of indie covers. That's where we started. Um, and then we started to write our own music. Sort of had a crack at that. I think you get to a point where you kind of get a little bit bored with doing covers. I mean, it's quite good. It sort of brings the band together. You start to learn how to play a little bit and craft your style and things. And then we had a crack at writing our own stuff. And I'm biased, but I think our own stuff is absolutely excellent. I love it. And it's the stuff that really brings a smile to our face. So yeah, we've got three originals at the moment, which we've just gigged. We did a gig supporting the Chrome Horse Diplomats and the Cornermen over at North Morton about a couple of weeks ago, and we debuted our first few songs then. I think they went down okay. It's a little bit when you're sort of playing to an audience at 7 o'clock in the evening, and you're playing with a lot of energy and sort of doing the whole grungy hard rock thing. I think we went down all right, but it was certainly enjoyable to play it. And we just need to now get our skates on and start recording stuff so we can get it out to a wider audience and start to hopefully get a bit of a following.
It must be it must be quite a different way of performing because when obviously when you're doing covers and what have you, you're learning other people's stuff and you're kind of doing all this kind of stuff and the words have already been written, the chords have
Yeah,
already been written, and you're learning it and putting it up there, and you're performing it, and you're kind of you can perform that song because it's someone else, but you're doing that song. When it's
yeah,
your own material, it must be quite a strange sensation being on the same stage that you've probably been on before. You're with your same bandmates in front of
yeah.
in front of an audience which you've done before. Are you kind of is that kind of sort of looking around the audience, just going, okay, guys, are we looking for reactions? Is this going well? Or
Yeah, yeah,
what's in the back of your mind?
you
What's going
definitely
through
do
your
a
head?
little bit of that, but I must admit I try not to do too much of that because then I forget where I am in the song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Of course, you still
there
got to
has to
perform
be
the song. Yeah.
a level of concentration to be able to actually do what I'm doing. But yeah, you certainly do start to look around and see are people enjoying this. And so far we've got good vibes. So
Brilliant.
like I said, we just need to like accelerate that a little bit more now, which is why we're coming and talking to you, and like I said, get some recordings out and start to publicize ourselves a little bit more, because it's
Brilliant.
quite hard getting gigs. Actually, that's one thing I've found, is it's just quite difficult to find places to perform when you're sort of a full-on band. We're not acoustics. We
Yep.
haven't got some and a cajon. We're sort of the full-on four-piece electric band. It's quite hard to find places to go and play and gig
Yeah.
at. So yeah, if there's anyone
Absolutely.
out there who likes what they're hearing, come and contact us and let us know what you're doing, and we'll gladly come and play.
I guess it is that silly problem, isn't it? Of going, actually, we need the amps, we need the
Yeah.
space. We are the four piece. We need that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's quite easy just to kind of go, oh, we've got this person who's just brought their acoustic guitar, and there's a singer, and that's easy. It's a nice thing to do. So yeah, I guess a problem that I've never really thought about with bands and stuff, but of course it is one. Now, in terms of sort of influence and stuff, obviously. Performing the covers and all this kind of stuff, and taking inspiration from that sort of, like you said, the Indian grunge side of things. When you're performing and when you're doing all those songs, are you thinking about your own band and kind of going, actually, where do we fit in all of this? Are we, we're between, because everyone gets compared to people. It's just inevitable. You can't go. This band are truly original. I've heard nothing like this before. Everyone kind of puts you between X and Y. So what would you? I mean, just joining in.
That's an interesting one, because there's quite a lot of different influences within the band, and one of the things on the cover side of things was I always said, we want everyone in the band to play some of the stuff that they love listening to, which means it's a little bit diverse. I mean, it's all sort of in the same genre. But it goes from sort of Weezer all the way to Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, with Ash thrown in. So it's quite a diverse set of things. And I think we're probably still finding our feet and evolving sort of where we are at the moment. My favourite one that we've written at the moment, I think, is probably most close to something like Royal Blood.
Oh, okay.
That's my favourite out of the kind of three that we've got down and performed at the moment.
And I guess when you have, like you said, when you've got a band and everyone's got their own little personal taste, and everyone wants to pour a little bit of their creative juices into that melting pot, it takes a little while to actually kind of formulate something. Like you said, it's under an umbrella of grunge indie, which is very general and what have you. But adding that kind of bit, your Royal Bloods are not like your Oasis. Just throwing something in there, polarizing. But it takes the time just to kind of go, oh, actually, we've found that common ground, I guess.
Yeah, and I think we're like I said, we're still sort of evolving in that space. And I think we'll probably find, hopefully we go on to write loads more songs, and we look back at the stuff that we wrote at the start, and it's going to be quite different to what we end up with, 2 or 3 years down the line.
Brilliant. And it's really nice chatting to a band that's sort of, in terms of creating their own music in its infancy and starting out and what have you. And it must be a real excitement and a real buzz to kind of get your music out there, and like you say, chat to us as well, get yourself and what have you out there, and to be on this little journey that you kind of go, oh, let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. Let's see where it ends up. Yeah, 100%.
In terms of, you mentioned sort of briefly that a few songs in EP coming up. Are you in the process of recording at the moment? Is there a timeline for when we might be able to hear music come out?
Yeah, we really hope that we have some music out sort of around about, I reckon, being realistic, sort of September, October time, because it's always hard when you're in a band. People got families, got holidays, got work, things like that. You get into the August sort of time, and it's hard to pull everyone together. So I think we're in a bit of a doldrum at the moment with not meeting as a band for a while now. But once we get into September and October, I hope that we've got some stuff down. And if Get Radio wants to put us on the radio, I'll 100% throw you all of our stuff, Rich.
Well, we have our dedicated local music show, The Melting Pot, with Rich and Deadly. I know Deadly's listening right now. He's been messaging me. So, definitely we'll have all of that. And we'll definitely be putting it on the radio with the boys with that. It's a fantastic stuff. Matt, it's been a great pleasure sort of chatting to you and catching up and finding out the band and kind of this new embryonic thing that's happening with music. Where can people find out a little bit more about you and hopefully keep their sort of ears to the ground with new music coming out soon?
So they can search for the Dirty Sock Puppets on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page, and I'm not massively into social media. I believe we've got an Instagram page which is tied to Facebook. And then we're hoping, though it isn't confirmed, we're hoping that we are playing at the Tap Social in September, but that's probably shouldn't have said that. That isn't 100% confirmed, but we're hoping. So keep your eyes and ears out for that as well.
Brilliant stuff. Well, look, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that one, definitely. Matt from the Dirty Stock Puppets, brilliant name. I love it. Hope to hear much more from you very, very soon. And thanks for joining us on Band Week.
Well, thank you very much, Rich. Cheers.
That's brilliant stuff. Yeah, love it. This is what Band Week's all about. We're chatting to bands that have been around for a long, long time and doing it for years and years. We're chatting to brand new bands as well. This is what I love this week so much.